Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU and don't go anywhere. This is still the Roving Clans playthrough slash tutorial. However, we are now officially, or I guess unofficially, in the branch patch. What do I mean by branch patch? It's something Upload has done before. We're still, Endless Legend is still in beta, however there is a patch that you can use to modify your game to a later stage of this game's development cycle. So for example, when you go into your Steam folder and you right click on your Endless Legend game and go into properties, go into betas, then you can select the particular beta I'm playing right now. Everybody has access to it and you can enjoy all the wonderful additions. Many of them are actually hidden within this very menu, which is why I started in the main menu instead of jumping immediately to the game. So first things first, when you go into new game, you can see now that there is indeed a difficulty setting. Yes! I've been waiting for it. I have been waiting for it a lot. So, after I'm done with Roving Clans, I can guarantee the next thing that's coming is endless difficulty playthrough, which may or may not feature necrophages as well. I'm very excited for this. You can also modify your minor faction difficulty, which is cool. In all honesty, normal is hard enough as it is. Those guys can be kind of vicious if you let them live. Hard? Oh yeah, that is fun. I like it. Game speed fast, something that I kinda got used to the normal speed of Endless Legend, but fast is definitely useful and I will like it a lot because this will make me post less videos, which is actually good because I need to post as many of them as I can before I move to Korea. Details about that are in the channel update I posted earlier today. Also a few other small changes that are actually not listed in the patch notes. Patch notes are over here, you can see all of them right over here. You can also go to this particular link, you can see it right here, and you'll find the patch notes. You can read all about them right here. I'll of course talk about them during this entire videocast, so you don't need to read them per se, but you know it's also very useful. Also, multi-targeting system, yeah, I'll talk a lot about that, it's very useful. Also another thing is that now there are victory conditions added. I believe it's all of them or all of them except for one that is yet to be added. But if it's not mentioned here, then I guess, I don't know. Maybe they changed their mind, maybe there will be more victory conditions later on. Who knows, who knows. Either way, that's what we have right now. It's still way more than what we used to have. There is also the good old victory alert from Endless Space, and a bunch of other changes that I'm going to gladly talk about. And yeah, reduced XP gain from hero skill, also that is probably for the best, because it was, considering how little experience we were gaining per turn without the skill, this skill was very useful. I'll talk about that in game. I think I should just go ahead and load the game now, because there are a lot of things I need to talk about, but you can, for the most part, see where the changes are going. Things are really nice. Some things are mentioned in this patch release. I'm not sure if that's intentional or if it's something that was changed earlier, but I didn't notice. For example, large islands right now are actually playable. Because last time I tried them, and by last time I mean like 3 or 4 times I tried them, they always were consisting of just one giant region and it was no fun whatsoever. Then again, actually, hold on a second, no, I think those are just islands, I don't remember. Either way, things have changed, I think I can say that much. So I'll pause recording now and I'll be right back with you in our Roving Clans game. Alright, now we are officially loaded in and we can start discussing things. Problem is, I already forgot what I meant to discuss, so let's just go through things one by one. First things first, the marketplace now looks a lot nicer and neater. You can easily see or unsee the information you want to see. You can see exactly how much income you gained from somebody else's trades, except I was the only person trading, so I didn't gain anything from it. For some reason, every single resource right now is on the lowest possible demand. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. Either way, as you can see, I can buy things cheaply, so I went ahead and bought some of them already. Gold in particular, I'm really happy I was able to buy because of reasons that I'll explain later that may or may not involve me actually finding a very nice source of gold. We'll talk about that in a second. So there is that. I'm really happy that we now have the Academy screen back in the top menu. It's something that I believe almost everybody on the forums were flipping tables about, because seriously, it is so much more convenient to be able to just click this thing and operate your heroes. It is really nice, and I'm really happy that we can do it. And I have this guy still? Oh wow, I forgot to sell her. Alright, that's a she also. I called her a guy, whatever. Anyway, I might as well assign him for the time being, since I'll actually be using her. But yeah, there is this. Now, what has changed that is actually fairly important. It's the army action points. What action points are? Well, it's fairly simple. Each army by default has only a single army action point, or rather, each unit by default has a single action point, which means that it can perform one particular action. Now, walking around is not considered an action. You can walk as much as your movement allows you to, and you can walk in any area you want. Action is, for example, talking to a minor faction. So if I were to talk here, walk here and talk to those guys, then this would be considered an action and would cost 1 action point. After using this action point, I will not be able to do anything else with my army except for moving around, because yes, you can move around, talk, and then move again. So that hasn't changed. However, after talking to those guys, for example, I would not be able to then go back here and explore those ruins. So that's the change. Right now, you have a limited amount of actions you can perform with each unit each turn, whereas in the past you were able to do a limited amount of actions. No, those days are over. It's a pretty good change, because right now the way it works is that if somebody attacks you, then he can just keep attacking you over and over and over again, so there isn't really a draw ever possible, unless in multiplayer you run out of time and the turn just ticks over to the next turn. But now you can only attack, for example, once per turn with a particular army, which is good. It makes sense. It actually makes draws exist, which is a really nice change. Other change that I might as well talk about, since it is very visual. Do you see this flag right there? It symbolizes that this village has been pacified, so yeah, I don't need to worry about it. As simple as that. A small little change, but fairly useful, because in the past you could have had some problems identifying which villages have pacified, which villages are still hostile. I mean, I never did, I'll be honest. But you could have had those problems, so yeah, let's say that. Other change that is very big, in fact. Now you only need 8 technologies to advance to the next era instead of 10. As you can see, it's a very big circle right now instead of the very small one we had before. Now, this changes a lot, and I'm not entirely sure if I like it, but I like the general principle behind this idea. So the way it works right now is that you only need 8 technologies to level up to the next era, right? And you, generally speaking, want to advance to the next era as quickly as possible, because technologies in the next era are probably usually better. For example, I have nothing for happiness in the second era and a fairly crappy structure in first era, but in third era, oh yeah, there's where the central market is at. So generally it is always a good idea to try and advance to the next eras as quickly and efficiently as possible. I dig that. However, the other principle behind it is also very I mean, alright, let's try and say this again in proper English for a change. What it all boils down to is that what the devs are trying to achieve is to make every single choice you make in a technology tree matter more. Because in the past you had to go for 10 technologies to proceed to the next era, which basically guaranteed that you got every single technology you really cared about. If you didn't get something, then most of the time you wouldn't want it anyway. There was no real choice when it came down to technologies, not at all. Right now, however, there is, because you can either get 8 technologies and then you are faced with a choice. You can continue to the next era to grab those new technologies, but what if there is something valuable from in the previous era that you want to grab? Well, you can still grab it, but it's going to cost a lot more science now, because keep in mind, the more technologies you have unlocked in a particular era, the more they cost. So that's something you should keep in mind. Yeah, there is that. Now, the reason why I'm not too happy about it, I mean, it's not like I'm not happy about it, I'm not sure if this is actually going to work. I'm afraid that this might make this game a little bit too fast. I mean, sure, I'm going to play this game on fast setting, which is going to make it even faster, but I think the game pace is going to be off, that's what I'm trying to say. And I'm not sure if this is going to be all that great, because sure, on one hand, it is nice to actually be able to finish a game within a single day. That would be good. That's something Endless Space wasn't quite able to accomplish except on the smallest maps. Then again, I personally really like to play games on fast speed that take multiple days. It means that there's a lot of content in the game that you will have to explore wherever you like it or not, and usually you like it because it's content for you, right? So it's a fairly nifty idea, isn't it? So that's, for example, why in Civilization 5 I'm really a big fan of this fast speed because yes, the game is faster, so you don't take 25 years proceeding through the early game, but at the same time, because the tech tree takes so long to go through, it feels like you still have plenty of time to enjoy every particular playthrough. And here, it feels like it might be a bigger issue. Then again, it might not be the case. We'll see. Right now, of course, this patch is relatively new, so I cannot really make any predictions. It's just my first small concern that might not even be valid. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. That's what it boils down to. Alright. Any other big change? Well, let's have a quick look at the patch notes again to see if I have not forgotten anything important. GFX effects on wands, I was really spazzing about this because, yeah, it's awesome. You're gonna see it. I mean, you're not going to see it because I didn't give any of my heroes wands. But if you did see it, then this would be awesome. Alright, diplomacy has been changed slightly. I mean, as you can see right now, it matters how many cities you have instead of how many eras you have. The diplomatic costs. Very good, because previously it was a bit of a kick in the teeth to people that try to play with tall empires instead of wide empires, so I'm happy with that. We talked about marketplace battles, I'm going to show you in a second. There are unsayable units right now, and that is assigned to also less and cities as well. That also applies to moving cities. Merci amplitude, yes indeed, merci beaucoup. Did I say that right? I have no idea, I don't speak French, I'm sorry. I used to try to learn, I gave up. Flying units now flying, that is actually very nice. They kind of were flying. I mean, I have seen the. Wait, maybe that was in VIP build. No, I think I have recorded some units flying over obstacles. I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe I'm just maybe it was a dream. That's also possible. And a few other things have also been changed. It says change the calculation of the bribe's cost. So I assume that not only they fixed the bug that the bribe had going for it, but also now it has changed a little bit as well, so that's good, that's good. Kazanji has been changed to a percentage instead of flat value, that I'm not a big fan of. I mean, I understand, right now Kazanji in late game are kinda worthless, but I like the idea of this being just a raw percentage. And it made Kazanji particularly useful for small and tall empires, so I like that. Not too happy that it changed it, but I can dig it. Moved game options menu to end button. Yeah, it's a bit awkward, isn't it? I'm not a huge fan of it. And a bunch of other things, including a notification when a quest fails. That is going to be very useful, and I'll never have to complain that someone gets a bug or not, because we'll know about it right after it happens. Good. That's all about the patch notes. We can now continue playing as we normally are. I think I will need to include an annotation to just let you skip over this, but I think talking about patch notes is an important part, and if anything, you might actually be here for my opinions on Endless Legend, so, you know, I kinda wanted to voice them, as simple as that. Right, let's get to game. I have finished the single 10 I was at when I stopped recording last time, which means that I did a little bit more exploring. So here is what I explored in general. I found that there is indeed a bit of a... I found that this is where the continent ends, where I and Brokelos are on, which also means that there are apparently only... yeah, 2 regions that Brokelos control, which means that they are going to be a really easy target. They are doing pathetically bad, I can see. I mean, I can tell by the quality of the regions they're in. I mean, when you click on the resource icons, yes, sure, there is some depth over here, but really not a lot. I'm surprised. I feel sorry for them most of all. I really don't know why they didn't try to expand to this desert as well, but hey, well, AI, it's not perfect yet. Although it might be better now. So that's just something to keep in mind. My other scouts in the meantime discovered some other important things. This guy, for example, well, he was just continuing sailing along the shore right there, and yeah, he was fighting some more broken lords, which is important, but not particularly stunning. And of course, no! I should have landed, and I should have landed and attacked him right now. Oh boy, oh boy, this is bad. No. Alright, so here's the deal. My other last scout has actually discovered this island, and I was really excited to see this island because when you zoom out you can see that it actually has a double source of gold. It also has boss on it, but that's less important, even though bosses are pretty good for the Roving Clans because of the food bonus they give you. Either way, this island, really good. Nice anomalies, nice kind of tiles, double source of gold. I would love it if I could create a city over here and assign a Brocolos hero to it so that I can gain a very nice source of gold, which is why I bought all this gold on the marketplace, if you remember. But those bastards, the old warriors, just had to land here, didn't they? They just, oh, bastards. I'll try to see if I can snipe them, but it's very unlikely. I mean, I have 7 movement, those are Kasai after all. Actually, if I click fast enough, I should be able to do this, so hopefully I will. Now, as for my last scout, he is just going to go ahead and see how big the enemy city is. If I can see it, there it is. It seems like it has no districts whatsoever. A bit sad, although I shouldn't judge, because most of my cities do not have any districts either. And also looks like Brocolos did not even pacify their minor faction. Pretty surprising, they usually do this fairly early. At least the AI usually does, they like to ban those guys, but you know, it happens, I guess, it does. So what was my original plan is to move the rough color after it grows maybe a bit more population, or maybe round it away. I was thinking still about it. But either way, I wanted to move rough color and go ahead and plunk it down on this island. Now, you may be asking, why rough color? Well, there are multiple reasons. First things first, when we go ahead and look at the rough color region, you can see that the only mine that functions in rough color is this titanium mine. And while titanium extractors are important and useful for me, this is less important than what I have going on in other regions. For example, in Avnis I have some dye. Dye is more valuable than titanium for me because it sells for more and I do not use all that much titanium aside from my heroes. Then we go to Somriel. Somriel also has a dye, and additionally it is a city location that I will consider to be basically my capital, because it actually is my capital. It does have the palace, but it is also a city where I want to create a bunch of barrow streets and whatnot. I do not want to move those, because yes, you can move your city with the barrow streets, and then you can redeploy barrow streets in any way you see fit, but there is one problem with that. And that is, it takes 1 turn to redeploy a single barrow street, no matter what. At least that's how it was before the branch update. When you, for example, were moving a city with 7 barrow streets attached to it, then it took you 7 turns to redeploy all of those barrow streets. I discovered it the hard way, because I actually did that. It was a bit painful, trust me when I say it. Either way, I'll let the city do what it does. After this barrow street is done, I'll start working on the second one and I'll start to buy them out. This one didn't take a long time to create, so I didn't buy it out. And as for Raid, why am I not moving that? Well, it is the closest to this island, I'll give it that. However, it also has glass steel on it. And glass steel, unlike titanium, I consider to be very important because it actually is a resource I might use in combination with my units. Because, hey, glass steel, very nice, increases the initiative, which is very important for the Kasai and Dervishes, who without good initiative are basically junk food, because the enemy will just stun lock you to death, and it doesn't matter how fast you are if you're stun locked. That's not gonna work. So that's why I'm moving rough color instead of any other city. Now there's also a secondary reason, and that is because rough color already has the high towers. High towers are a bit of a pain to create because you need to have a Wild Walker's hero in your city, and I do not want to move Wild Walker's hero to any of those 2 cities because, you know, there are other heroes in there already that I do not want to unassign. So rough color seems to me to be the smartest choice. As I am going to move rough color, I'm also going to send another seller and recolonize this region because it is a really nice region to grow your city relatively quickly in my eyes. I mean, it does have the geothermal pit, so that's a little bit of extra production to help you build, also helps with the size. And the dragon tree, again, very nice. It is possible that there is a nicer region to grow your city fast, but I actually don't think there is. I mean, maybe this area, I mean, it does have the earth spine, which is nice, but not as nice as the dragon tree when you want to grow fast. There's some hidden springs, so that is nice. Animated marsh, nah. There's also the botanical garden and steel stocks combination. You have to keep in mind though that when you want to have a region that is serving the singular purpose of growing a city fast for the Roving Clans, then you have to keep in mind that you're only going to have 1 city tile. You're not going to make any ball streets because you are going to plan and want to move your city away as soon as possible, as soon as it's ready. And that's usually way before it is ready to make any borough streets. So yeah, we only want to look at anomalies that are right next to each other. And this region, why it's nice, it has quite a bit of food and whatnot. I just like this region better. Sure, it might have a little bit less food in this area than it has on the other region, because it only gives you 1 food per tower over here. Yes, but because of how much industry it has, because of the fact that it also gives you science, and there is a dragon too, which also increases your happiness. Yeah, I like this city location to be the area where I level up my cities before I move them out. Also, it looks like there's another what's it called? Island over there. I will need to explore that with something. Unfortunately, I just moved out an army from over there. Now, you may be wondering why I'm actually moving so many of my armies over here. That's because the first army is going to explore those ruins, and to clear them out is going to be very easy. I have a hero and I have a very, very big army. But I'm going to go ahead and try to kill this Eric's village, because my quest tells me to do that. This will be difficult. Eric's are tough, and there will be like 6 or 8 of them. Between 6 or 8 at the very least. So, you know, it's something that will require preparation, and it will require an army as well. So I'd rather move in with too many units than with too few, if you know what I mean. Alright, let's go ahead and start the battle. And if you're wondering what on earth this icon is, I don't know, but I'm fairly certain that this is the army action point. It says that this action is going to take you 1 action point. And since this option is not grayed out, then it also means that you can in fact perform this action because you have the action point to spare. So let's just go ahead and do it. I have been trapped, what a surprise! But I was given a lot of blood crystal as well, which is nice. Alright, so the enemy is attacking me right now. Apparently it's an even battle, so I wouldn't dare to auto battle it. But there's also another reason why I don't want to auto battle, and that is actually very simple. It's because of the targeting changes. Now, targeting phases and whatnot, they work just like they used to in the past, but now you can assign secondary orders, and this makes things a lot easier for most people, including myself. I don't know why I said most people, for everyone, that's what I meant to say. I mean, some people like I, for example, since I have played over 100 hours of Endless Legend, I know how the AI works, right? So it's not too difficult for me to guess how the AI is going to move my units. However, now you have more control over it, and that's just so much better. So much better, because you don't have to do any guesswork, you just know what you're going to do, and it's wonderful. Alright, so I'm going to show you how it works, but first things first, let's do the usual, and we want to make sure that we charge with the maximum effectiveness. So, 1, 2, 3, 4... let's walk over here with 1 dervish, and then you go away. And then another dervish over here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and attack, that's good. So this dervish attacks here, this dervish attacks here, and then the last dervish is going to walk here and attack like so, good. As for my hero doesn't have the best range ever, so I'm going to position him very close to the enemy. That's okay, it's a she, for crying out loud. I keep saying that she's a he. She can take a bit of damage, and yeah, I'll let her take the damage. It's not like I'll suffer if she dies or anything. It feels kind of cruel to say so, but it's true in fact. As for the Kasai, I just want him to be out of the way but still in range, and this looks like a decent position. It is actually slightly below this area, which is a problem, but the enemy cannot possibly get to me, and I do have the range. That said, there is a cliff in the way, and I will not be able to fire over a cliff. Let's walk over here, and then I'll give my unit a more precise order. So okay, I deployed my units, that's the usual, but now it comes down to attacking. So yeah, you can, let's here theoretically say that, oh yeah, I want to do things like the old way, so just attack everybody. I want everybody to attack the Harmonite. Sure, you can do that, it hasn't changed, but now you can do something way better. So let's say that I want this dervish to attack with maximum charge. So if I want to do that, then I just have to give it a priority order to go here. That still would work just like last time, because this dervish would end his action on this tower and then would attack this guy. Alright, let's leave it like so. I don't need to do anything else right now. Now, as for this dervish, actually, how do I have more dervishes? Alright, reinforcements, that's it. Now, as for this dervish, same thing. I just want to walk over here and he'll do me good. Now, as for this dervish, same thing, except I wouldn't know if this dervish would attack the Harmonite on the Rumbler. And this is where in the past I would have some problems, and I'd have to basically make sure that this dervish attacks the Harmonite, so this dervish doesn't gain the maximum charge bonus, and I would probably be satisfied with this kind of setup I have right here. That's how I would set this battle up normally in the old patch or in the non-branch patch. But check this out. So, this dervish, I don't know what he's going to attack, right? Right, but I can click here. I'm holding my right mouse button right now. I'm still holding it, and I let go. Do you see what I just did? I told my dervish to move to this town, and after he's here, he's going to attack this unit. That's exactly what he's doing. He's going to completely ignore this Rambler because he knows that his second most priority order is to attack the Harmonite. That's how you queue up orders. Alternatively, I can do it differently. I can tell him to attack the Harmonite. I'm holding my mouse button again, and then I can move my mouse here and leave the mouse button be. So now what it means is that the priority order, despite what it looks like, for my unit the priority order right now is to kill the Harmonite. But if this order cannot be achieved, or if the Harmonite is dead, or something else happens, then the second most important order is to move over here. Alternatively, I can also just go ahead and tell it to attack, hold down control, and do the same thing. But I prefer to just hold on mouse button. So yeah, let's just do it and make sure that I attack the Harmonite, because Harmonites are scarier when they're dead. Actually, no, Harmonites only have a beam. I care more about the Rumbler because they can swap me, so let's make sure that I attack the Rumbler first. Alright, so you do it like this, you do it like this, everything is good. Now for this dervish, let's see, this dervish, well, I'm just going to walk over here and attack this Rumbler, and you see where this is going, right? You see it? I hope you do. And this guy also obviously attacks this Rumbler. Now I don't need to tell him to attack him because that's the only target nearby, that's what he would attack anyway. But it's still nice, and if the AI pathing works in some unpredictable way and you're actually unable to fulfill your order, then you are guaranteed that AI knows that the reason why you want to move here is to attack this guy, and it will try to execute your order as best as it can, which is very important. Alright, now as for the hero and my archers, I will in fact go ahead and try to kill the Harmonite because my dervishes will try to stunlock this guy, and I'm actually out of dervishes that can stunlock the Harmonite. So let's make sure that this guy will stunlock him, and you go like so, you go like so. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and attack this Rambler, but make sure that I'm actually holding my position. You guys also should hold your position, but I also want you to attack the enemy. So let's, again, hold down my right mouse button and do like so, and they will move here and they will be in range to attack this guy as well. Beautiful! Now let's see all my orders actually going to effect. So first things first, those guys move exactly where they want to, and in the past they would probably attack Harmonite because they would be damaged, but no, now they are guaranteed to attack the Rambler. I so love the developers for making this change. I actually am not sure if this was suggested by anybody. I haven't seen this suggestion anywhere. Sure, there was a lot of suggestions about improving the combat system in general, yada yada yada, but I don't think I have seen this particular suggestion anywhere. I think it's just the devs acting out of their own merit, and yeah, they did some work. I'm really happy with the way they did things because it's actually really good. Alright, so as you can see, the first Rambler is dead. It did hurt my dervish significantly, but it is okay because the amount of damage I did was quite nice. Now, unfortunately, this dervish is also going to suffer quite a bit of a damage. It is unavoidable, unfortunately, but it's okay because I have so many dervishes. And the last dervish is going to stunlock the Harmonite, which is very important. The Harmonite has not taken any damage yet, so he will not die immediately, but at the very least he's not also going to act, which is important. And now we are just going to witness the enemy dying one by one as my range units finish him off. Now, of course, my units do have the hold position selected, so they will not move anywhere, but they are not actually enough to kill the enemy. But I have another Kasai. Please tell me you're good enough to kill the Harmonite. Please, please, prove yourself to me. He did not prove himself to me. It is a Harmonite though, so it's understandable. My dervish should finish him off, although at the cost of his life. Poor bastard. Still, 32 damage. That's a lot of damage for a dervish, isn't it? Yes, indeed, it is a lot of damage. So there we go, that's a battle won. I was also able to spectate this battle. I'm not sure if you have noticed this option, but if you were to go back in this videocast, you would see that I had the option to spectate it. It's nothing, it's the same as quitting the battle, and it will just go on in the background. You would simply not need to issue any orders. And if you, for example, see a battle that you want to see, but you want to auto battle, then that is what you want to go for. Spectate is like auto battle, except you see the battle in front of your very eyes, which is really cool, because if there's a battle I want to auto battle at the start of the turn, and then there's some other important things, I can just spectate, and yeah, and I'll have something to watch while I'm doing some other stuff. Really, really cool. I like it. Of course, spectate was, everybody knew that the spectate is coming, but now that it's here, I can spaz a little bit about it, can't I? Alright, so, oh, this guy actually moved down. Oh, I forgot to kill him as well, but that's okay. As long as I'm here and making sure that he is not, that's good. Let's go ahead and continue exploring the coastline. I want to see how big the enemy continent is. There's a bit of a cliff there, which is a shame because I cannot see too far because of it, but that's okay. This island is just an ice island per se. I call it an ice island because it's the South Pole, so it doesn't have any major features. More boss. That's good to know, but I don't think I want to settle here anyway, because it's not a particularly useful region. It doesn't have any mines or anything. I don't like it. And then the last army is slowly but surely making its way towards the Erekis. I'm trying to be very careful with that, because I do not want to be attacked by any neutral armies. I say as I stumble upon the undead. Either way, 1060, oh, delicious 69 10s. Anyway, this video has been actually fairly long, and I haven't done a lot but talk. But talk is one of the reasons why you're watching this, isn't it? So, oh, I forgot to build in some Rio. It happens. I also forgot to move my city. It happens. I also got attacked. It happens. Either way, I'll stop it right here and record the next videocast for tomorrow, but this is long enough for now and I want to upload it before it's tomorrow. So yeah, I need to end right here. Thank you very much for watching. It was PANCZASU, also known as the Mighty Mix Spammer. I hope you enjoyed my work and I'll see you online.